Welcome everyone to another episode of 10K Movies. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tom and JD. Fellas, how we doing?
Good evening. How are you guys?
Hello.
Doing good. We were just talking about we brought this up a few episodes back, but never really gave an update, although we said we were going to. Besides, movies, songs that we're keeping track of, we also are in, I guess, a competition with the mini crosswords of New York Times. If you haven't done that, check it out. It's a free app. It passes the time, although it doesn't take too much time, but a lot significantly less than the regular crossword puzzle. And we've been doing it for what, like over a year now, at
Probably
least.
over a year. Probably,
That's it. Probably closer to 2 years than a
I
year.
was gonna say probably closer to a year and a half or
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. And recently, what was it, 5 weeks ago, I think, we started taking or jotting it down and keeping track of the records with the help of our freak in the sheets, JD Excel whiz. He's been compiling the data and everything. And actually, as of today, we are all tied up. So we do, I think, was it 3 points for first, two for second, one for third. And yeah, so we're all tied going into, I think now this is week 6. So yeah, just another project we wanted to share with you guys. But like I said, yeah, follow along with us on there too. It's fun. It takes probably around a minute.
5 seconds.
Generally, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think that's usually like about our average. Sometimes there's some in there that go off the rails a little bit, but yeah, it's a fun time. So definitely check it out. But yeah, I'm sure we'll give some more updates as we go on.
Was this a paid advertisement? Did they reach out to you
I know
individually?
it feels like it. I mean, this would be our first ad of the podcast, but promise we're not sponsored. But if you guys want to sponsor us,
Doesn't mean we're not interested.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll take it.
I only
Hell, if
advertise
you
things
want
I
us to
believe
do,
in.
yeah, if you
Say
want
if I
us,
do it for free.
yeah, if you want us to even upgrade to the real crossword puzzle,
Wow.
we'll do it, but got to get
Pay
paid
our
for it.
dues.
Yeah. But yeah, keep an eye out for our updates there, and then we also have an update. Well, JD does on your Fast Saga journey. If you want to let us know where you are on that, Jay.
All right, so I'll break it down. I started with the fourth one because I actually really like the first like 3 or so, like Tokyo Drift 2. I like that one. So I started where it kind of starts going off the rails. And I think Ryan, you said you only saw up to the fourth, and then
Yeah.
Tom maybe the seventh or so.
I thought. I think one of the only ones I saw was the 7th.
Do we want spoilers here?
Oh,
I
I don't give a
don't
shit.
care.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah. Trust me,
For the
honestly,
audience, spoiler alert.
it doesn't even spoil the movie because all right, they like build on each other. Where each movie they get more and more ridiculous. For instance, in the ninth one, they go to space. I'm not shitting. They
in a car, or is it
they
at least a
strap a
rocket?
rocket to a car.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. And it's
Feasible.
their spacesuit is literally like rubber and duct tape. And they
No,
have to.
like a fishbowl as a helmet,
Oh,
or
no, they got one of those, but it's duct tape.
okay.
Duct taped around there
Yeah,
too.
Safety
And then
first.
it's only Tej and Roman, if you know them. It's
I
Ludacris
do.
and
Can't say it,
I
dude.
always forget the other actor's name. Anyway, and they literally drive through a satellite. I don't know how it's possible. I don't know how they land. Like, I don't
Were
get
they
it.
in the car when they or
Oh, oh
slash
yeah.
rocket?
Oh yeah. Oh, they also hit the NOS in space. I don't know if it works like
I
that.
don't know if that works in zero gravity,
Yeah.
but
Guarantee it doesn't.
And he also says some phrase where it's like, you do the thinking, I do the driving. They're literally in space. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like turning the wheel. I'm like, what? Uh,
how the fuck are
And
they
that was what,
I
Fast
don't.
Nine or
That's Fast
whatever it's
Nine,
called.
yeah. Fast Nine, yeah. Fast X comes out this week, I think, and that's part 1 of 3. So I gotta see it. I don't
Are
actually
you
want
gonna
to.
be there opening night or what?
Uh,
you have to be. You're caught up.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'll be there.
You gotta report back on what that audience looks like.
Oh,
Like
it
it's
can't
packed
be good.
house, if it's you and 3 other people.
Um,
I genuinely don't know.
I
I
I
can
might
see it going
wear a
either way.
GoPro or something during it. Bootleg it and give the audience, yeah. But yeah, other crazy things. They killed off 2 characters that later came back. I don't understand that either. Just like,
Oh, John Cena was one of them, right? Or no?
no, I don't think he got
But
killed
that's
off. But
like
he
Vin
came
Diesel's
in
brother or
and
something.
yeah, it's Vin Diesel's brother in the 9th one, I think. Honestly, I watched like 3 of them today, so they're all kind of running together. As I start to realize, they just start adding family. We found out The Rock, who's they're somehow best friends with, even though he was like the FBI agent assigned to track him down. He has a brother. Find that out in Shaw and Hobbs. Shaw,
Yeah.
if you weren't worried about it, Shaw actually has a sister who, oh, we know he has a brother from the other one, but he has a sister too, who's MI6. I don't understand these families. All these families are just like the greatest at everything they've ever done. Like all of them. I don't.
That's
Dominic
insane.
Toretto goes from being like a street racing boss to like the most formidable
Yeah.
fighter, weapons
Crashing
assassin.
through satellites.
Dude, like he's like in one of the movies, I forget which one. He like whips his car so it fishtails, hits another car, hits a airplane out or a helicopter out of the sky, and then someone also lands on that car as like a safe landing. I don't understand. It's the most ridiculous stuff I've ever seen.
Well, in the trailer for the new one, he's driving, has like rope attached to like 2 helicopters,
Yeah.
smashing them into each other while he's
I
still driving.
I don't get
At
it
one
at
point, he
all.
drives into a moving plane too. So
Yeah.
it seems
Also,
out.
I wish I had a counter on every movie because I think starting like the 5th one, at least once a movie, they'd go, "All right, boys, one last ride, one last ride," and then
14
like next thing I know, it's like, dude, someone's trying to take over the planet. It's like, call Dom. I'm like, what? What's like the CIA doing at this point?
I
Oh,
did
that
see that there's this thread going around well, I mean, on my Twitter feed, I guess, of literally like Fast and Furious. So it's like at what point, like I'm trying to pinpoint the time where the Fast saga like just essentially went off the rails, but I forget what like suspended disbelief or whatever. And then
Yeah,
there's just like all these things. But there was the
yeah.
one which I thought was the most ridiculous until you just said the space thing is where he like goes
Oh,
off a cliff and then it like this thing gets stuck in the tire and then he like just
rolls all the way down.
yeah, well, like swirls around like this mountain and then
Yeah,
falls off and then just rolls around. But of course,
yeah.
not a scratch on him.
No, of course not. I think that's the
uh,
7th one. Yeah, I think that's the 7th one.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, it's crazy. I can't believe
It
it's still
I
going
saw
on.
the
also,
7th in
like I'm
theaters.
a little bit of a little bit of a computer nerd if people know that or not. Like I'm not like super techie, but I'm like more techie than your average dude. And when they hack in these movies, like, don't worry, I can counter hack. And like 2 seconds later, they'll be on like they're not even like looking at it. They're just like typing with both fingers as fast as they can. I'm just like, that's such bullshit.
It literally reminds me of one of our good buddies. He always says, he's like, I can just hack into if I can just access the mainframe and I'm in.
I mean, it's spot on. That's what they do in every movie.
Every movie, dude.
There's one scene, I think it's the 7th or 8th, I forget, but it's like the super tech girl versus other super tech girl, and they're like counter hacking each other. So it's like, all right, I got it. And then like 2 seconds later, she's like, oh, she's good, but she's not that good. And it's like, I got it back. And I'm like, what are we doing here?
Oh my god.
I know they're your
Yeah.
favorites, JD, but it's gonna be a good day when those are done.
Oh, I hope they never end. I want to see Vin
I
Diesel
don't
in a
think they will.
wheelchair still somehow driving these cars.
I'm sure they will. It was this next one coming out was supposed to be a two-parter.
3 now.
This is
Three
first
now.
part to end with a two-part, but yeah, like they just said, no, actually, it's gonna
You
be
know
a
what?
three-parter. So now
Fans
I
don't
just
want
think it's gonna be like a 10-parter. They're just gonna redo the whole thing.
Yeah, and then they just probably reboot it in a few years anyway.
They probably will. That's why, like,
And
I'm
he'll
genuinely
make a
curious.
cameo for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like he can't quit that. Like there's no way. Like
No,
what's he gonna do? I mean, he probably has enough money where he doesn't actually have to do anything, but I
yeah.
feel like that's what basically a drug to him now. He's like, I gotta
Mhm.
see what else we can do next.
He's like the Tom Cruise of Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Just once to see what
just-
crazy shit they can cook up for him.
Yeah, it's actually insane. And then at some point, when you think they stop trusting them, like every movie they're driving like Bugattis and like these like $1 million cars. At some point, when you stop trusting, they trash them every time. Like covered in bullet holes that catch on fire, like do tumbles and stuff. I'm like, dude, if I owned a Bugatti, like you're just not getting that. Like, I don't care how good of a racer you are. I've seen what you've done with the other cars, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. You got to report back on what the audience looks like,
Yeah.
because it's like I feel like a surprising amount of people are following these all the way through.
Oh,
Like,
no,
it's in too
a
deep. Like
lot of
a
people
lot of
are.
people. Yeah.
I'm in deep. I might have
Guilty.
to go to Fast and Furious Anonymous.
I think
That'd be
I
hilarious.
feel like they're proud. I don't think there's an anonymous thing for it. They're just like meeting in the streets.
Oh
No,
yeah.
no pun intended. But like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
it's insane, and I think like one surprising amount that are kind of I guess in your boat, Jay, like they've just seen it. Like I just got to see how this ends or like gets close to ending. But then there's just a shit ton of actual fans that treat this like Harry Potter, Star Wars,
Oh
whatever. And
yeah.
it's like,
I think some people
I mean, it
actually
makes
think some
insane
of
amount of
it's
money.
like real. Oh, it does.
Mhm.
I think some people think it could be like plausible.
Yeah, I think some people watch it unironically, which concerns me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It concerns me as well. Yeah, it's
I hope you don't get sucked in, JD. I feel like they got you.
I'm in
good.
deep. I just finished the Shaw and Hobbs, which is the most recent one. I think I'm watching Cars after this. Cars, what, they have 3 of them, right? I'll be watching Lightning McQueen. I need speed, baby.
Yeah. It's addicted to automobiles.
Yeah. The next action movie I watch, if there's not a fast car, I'm turning it off. So Tom, you
Speed driver.
better choose a movie with good car in it.
All right, that's fair.
Uh,
So
When
yeah, I guess that's an update. But let us know next week how. I mean, if you see it this weekend, how it was. I'm guessing no space since they already tackled that, but we'll see.
they might be on the
have
sun.
they
Or
been to the
something.
desert?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're. This is my prediction. I think they go underwater. They
I
gotta
was just gonna
switch
say
it
Yeah.
up.
they've been like
Well,
touring
Jason Momoa,
down.
he was Aquaman.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Or maybe they like drill into the center of the earth. I don't know. Like they actually go. You know how people say like dig to China? They actually might.
Yeah, I can see it.
They
Uh,
got to do something with the ocean. I mean, come on.
yeah, it's right
You've
there.
been to
Yeah.
space, you haven't been underwater yet.
Yeah, they're pulling the They're pulling the
Pack a
NASA strategy
submarine.
for. Yeah, the NASA strategy. Go to space first, the ocean second.
Yeah. Oh boy. So yeah, that's some Fast and Furious talk.
Now I'm getting advertisements on Google for it. Jesus.
Yeah, they're listening.
I'm caught.
But yeah, also what we did this past week was listen to another year of Billboard hits. So for those new joining us, we're listening to a new year of Billboard hits every week till we get to current at the end of the year. This past year was 1989. This was not a super enjoyable one for me. I think there was only like 3 I even got through them all. So it wasn't that great in my opinion, but I guess I can start with my favorite song of this one. Like I said, wasn't much that I found interesting, but this one is actually a song I really do like. So it's good to rediscover it again. But it is "She Drives Me Crazy" by Fine Young Cannibals. Haven't heard that band prior to that song, but I do love that song. So that's what I went with. How about you guys?
You can go if you want, JD.
I got a 2-parter, but I'll
Oh,
still
okay.
go. So
Well,
one.
All right, all right, Dom.
Yeah. Oh, I can pick a third real quick. Yeah, so the first one, I kind of agree with Ryan. I wasn't a huge fan of this year, but so I went with one of my all-time favorite songs in general, which was "Smooth Criminal," Mike Jackson.
Yeah.
oh,
Just
that going.
really like that song. Liked it since I was like a little kid when I first time I heard it. And then the other one was a little more nostalgic. It was "Welcome to the Jungle." It was on Madden 12, which me and my brother used to do like a lot of seasons on before like
Yep.
the internet. And so it's like always play. So it just like brings me like that old nostalgia of just sitting in the basement playing like a fantasy draft with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on
Good
like
one.
my workout playlist too. But
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a solid song too.
yeah,
Uh,
it's good. Yeah.
that I also went with Guns N' Roses song from that album because I think I'm assuming when Guns N' Roses kind of burst onto the scene with this album because we haven't seen them before. But I went with Paradise City. If you guys have heard
Oh
that,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was up there for me.
take me down. Yeah, I like that one.
which I don't know where I heard this. I think I saw it on like Twitter or something, but I heard like I saw this like a year ago and I went with it. I heard that was about our college town, Bloomington.
Really?
And I literally just looked up Paradise City by Guns N' Roses. The first thing is what town is that about? It says it's about Los Angeles. So
Oh, I was like,
literally
They're
no,
they're
way.
pretty similar.
literally no idea
Spitting images of the two.
how that. Oh, but here's is Paradise City about Bloomington, Indiana is another one. It says the story originates as an urban legend during his years at North Central High School. It was even further fueled by the natural rivalry between Purdue and West Lafayette. Um,
I think I've heard that
that's-
too.
yeah, that's because it says because Axl Rose, the lead singer of Guns N' Roses, is from Lafayette.
Yeah, and I think I heard probably on the same Twitter thread as you that he used to like to go party at IU instead, even though
Yeah,
he
that's what
lived
this article
does
at
says.
Purdue. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it does say where the girls are pretty, and we all know.
Right. Yeah. That's
Well, I'll subscribe to that theory because that's a lot more fun than just LA.
Yeah, everyone writes
yeah.
songs about LA.
Yeah, Bloomington doesn't get enough shine. Just Indiana.
However, later in the article, it says Bloomington as Paradise City was an absurd theory he repeated on the radio.
Oh fuck. So he debunked it himself, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
He just had
Um,
a concert coming up at Purdue. That's all it was.
Yeah,
Right.
had to create some buzz for it.
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yes, I don't think it's true, but cool if it was.
Yeah,
Should be cool if he did.
that would have been I've heard that song. I think we back in band class, in like fourth grade or fifth grade. That our teacher loved that song and played it all the time. Actually, that's when I first heard it. But yeah, I wish it was about Bloomington.
Pretty good
Yeah.
one.
They
I do
wouldn't play
agree
that
though.
song at our school. Not a
Yeah.
public school.
Yeah.
We had morals.
I do agree that this year was pretty light, but next week or next year, technically we're in the 90s, so
Yeah,
it's exciting.
first one. I know we've been waiting for this one.
Finally made it.
So yeah, 1990 on the dot. So feel
Mhm.
free to listen along with us. And yeah, we'll talk about that one next week. What our
Mhm.
favorites are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also, if you listen to last week's show, had a new movie to talk about this week, as we are a movie podcast, not necessarily a crossword advertiser. But yeah, the movie this past week was my choice. I chose Begin Again. Let me pull up the synopsis again. It's just a refresher. But this is I mean, if you listen to our other shows, this is a movie that is different than basically every movie we've watched in terms of just the genre of it. The genre, I mean, it says comedy, drama, music. I guess that fits the bill. But the synopsis again is a chance encounter between a down and out music business executive and a young singer songwriter new to Manhattan turns into a promising collaboration between the two talents. I guess that's a good synopsis. So I guess my quick thoughts. I've seen this movie before. I saw it was on Netflix as I was kind of browsing for movies. So no surprise. I think I'm going to be the highest score here because I really like this movie. I like the cast. I think they did a good job. I think the music's awesome in it. And it's kind of like I wouldn't say this is a rom-com. I'm surprised it didn't have romantic as the genre on there, but if it is, if some people consider that, it's like a uh different perspective on it, I guess, like than what a usual rom-com would end, at least. But yeah, I mean, overall, I really enjoy this movie. It's a very rewatchable movie for me, at least. I mean, I think it's actually the third time I've seen it. So I really liked it. Excited to hear what you guys think. But yeah, like I said, I think I'm the highest here, but I clocked in at an 84 for this one. So
I I forget who's next. Is it me?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's you.
you can
Yeah.
go, Tommy.
I'm actually in the exact same ballpark. I was gonna say, I was like, I
Really?
think I'm gonna be the highest on this one. I agree. I agree with everything you say there. I think I really don't have bad things to say about this movie. Like I really liked it. I think my score raises because like how easy of a watch it was. And yeah, I know we always talk about like genres we like. I really like music genres, like not necessarily musicals, but like movies that involve some music. I always think it's like it makes me wish I had any musical ability whatsoever. Um,
Man.
but I actually love this movie and very easy watch. Thought it was really well done. I gave it an 85.
Okay. So I, I was
So
wrong. I thought you would actually be
it's
the
your
lowest.
job to come in at like a 62 here and
Yeah.
bring the average back to where we thought it would be. But what you got for it?
So I cannot decide on this movie. I actually watched it twice in the last week. Both times I enjoyed it, but I couldn't tell how much I liked it or if I liked it at all too, which was weird. I went back and forth a lot on this, but since I'm so indecisive, I gave it a flat 70 because
Okay.
that's kind of what I count like my average range.
Mhm.
So yeah, I gave it a 70. I kind of like what you guys said. I like the music parts. It's like not a musical, but there's good music in it. I like the acting. I love Mark Ruffalo. I love Keira Knightley. Uh, but overall, like I don't know. I mean to get into it, like I know Ryan brought up the romance part. Like it doesn't really end how you think it would. I kind of wish they got together. I mean, spoiler, but like
Really?
yeah, I kind of do.
I highly
I
disagree.
was gonna say I would have hated it. That
That
was
would
one
have
of my points.
tanked
If
my
they
score.
did, I would
I would
have
have had
been
it in the
like below
60s.
50.
I
Yep.
thought I
Dude,
don't
I
know.
had
It was just
exact
weird.
same.
I didn't. Well, I didn't want Mark. Well, I didn't really want either of them to get back together with their exes, I guess.
After he
Right.
found out
And
about his wife.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's tough.
And she didn't at the end, which I was happy about. But he
Mhm.
did. So I think I would have liked him more if that didn't happen. Maybe they didn't have to get together or anything. But maybe if they were just like really good friends and not with their exes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I thought that was my one gripe about this movie was like the weird romance. I just thought it seemed super creepy.
Yeah.
Because Mark or whatever the hell his real name, Dan. Uh,
Dan.
he's so much older and he's just like he's like a mentor figure. I'm really glad that didn't happen, but I agree with you, JD. I'm glad it didn't work out. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of glad it didn't work out with Adam Levine,
Oh
whatever.
fuck
But
yeah, what a douche.
Yeah, literally.
yeah, but I also like I feel like Dan's wife was way worse to him than Adam Levine's character was to the other girl. Like I mean, they're both bad. They're both in the wrong, but like when you hear the stories, like one feels way worse than the other. But yeah, I was really hoping that romance didn't happen. I thought it would, and I'm glad to see it didn't. Because yeah, that probably would have brought me down to like a 60 something if I had to guess.
Yeah, I would agree. I maybe not them getting together, but I just didn't like him getting back with his wife. And also, I don't know how you guys felt about Keira Knightley and Adam Levine. Like when they were dating towards like the beginning of the movie, they were like cringy. Like they'd be in like business movies, like, "Oh, honey, we work as a team," like
Yeah.
holding hands. I'm like, dude, you're literally talking to like producers right now. Can we just act a little bit professional and stuff?
Yeah. I really that I mean that's one of my great like I thought like I said I like the acting except Adam Levine I thought he was like not like
Yeah,
obviously he could sing like he has a super good voice but the acting itself was tough like uh when he rolls in from like basically breaking the news that he cheated on her.
yeah.
And he just like puts the song on and he's like swirling the wine around and he's just like looking down and then he just like is like slowly like looking up at her. It's like this is so weird. But obviously she like knew it right away. I don't know. I just thought he was not a strong performance at all. But in the acting because he I mean obviously he can sing. But yeah, I did not love that. I did think like Mark Ruffalo, I think would have not. I mean, to kind of go back to them possibly getting together, like he was ready to risk it all at the end. Well, near the end when like they hugged, and then he like kind of held onto her arm there, just like looked there, like I think we both have thought about this, but like this is how I picture it. Like both have thought about this, but like we know this isn't like the right thing to do or whatever. But I
Yeah, I
think
like
he
that.
would have.
Oh,
I
he would
also
have.
think. Oh, I was gonna say. I
If
also
she like
think,
made the move, but yeah.
right. I also think it they the way they wrote it, they set it up to look even more like that when he went to her apartment and James Corden was there,
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and then it was like a casual like friend thing to him. But like I think they kind of staged that to be like, oh, who knows? Like who knows what would have happened if he wasn't there?
Yeah.
yeah.
And then she like got drunk and made the song. I actually didn't mind Adam Levine's acting. Um, I guess I didn't really notice him as like good or bad. I kind of liked his performance. I think mainly though because like his voice is so good
Yeah.
Oh,
that
he's a
it
great
made the
singer.
music scenes like even better. So, um, but yeah, I love I really like the story and I like kind of like the even like the small parts of like the kind of like non-linear story of like how the band came together where like it would
Yeah. Yeah.
show like we need musicians and then it would like like slowly show the band coming together and then it would like give a quick it would like flip really quick and give you like a quick turn of like how they got there and
I did
like
like that
same thing
montage.
too like I liked how the movie started like the first like act or two where you see her singing in the bar and then it kind of plays out a day and like how their days crossed over. So at first I thought Mark Ruffalo's character was like a little bit corny, like a little bit like
Oh, I loved him.
a little bit no, I ended up liking him a lot, but I felt like at first he was just a little like corny on like the whole music executive guy thing where he's like, oh, you think like all these like you think Bob Dylan is like genuine and stuff. And it's like, let me tell you something, babe. And it's like, I just felt like I guess knowing him as fucking Incredible Hulk and then this guy, I was just like, all right, dude, you're laying on a little thick here.
uh,
But by the end of it, I loved it. I loved like his character and I loved just like that whole like project they did. I thought was sweet.
I
So
thought that was cool
yeah.
too.
That was funny. And then when they do in that scene, then they're like, she's like Paul Newman, and like, or is it Paul Newman? Or no, Randy Newman.
Randy Newman is the
Yeah,
guy
like
that says, you
Randy
got a
Newman
friend
in
in
Toy
me.
Story. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they like, all right, yeah, I
Yeah.
Do
fucking
love
love
Randy
Randy Newman.
Newman.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree with that as well. But yeah, I thought I could see how he kind of came on like that, and from what I've heard amongst other people that viewed this or that watched this movie recently, thought it was maybe kind of far fetched for like him to be in the bar same night or whatever. But I mean, that's just movies. Like you had to drum it up somehow. But like you said, Tom, I did like how they did, kind of not repeated it, I guess, but saw it from both of their points of views how they got there that night. I thought that was
Mhm.
cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys brought that up because that was one of my favorite parts of like how they did it. Because like when it first opens, she's he pulls her onto the stage, he sings. It's a good song and everything, and I'm like, all right, where are we going from here? And they
Mhm.
show both their perspectives of like the same day. I thought that was really well done.
Mhm.
But yeah, I to go back to Mark Ruffalo, I loved his character in this. I thought he was like both hilarious and so wildly out of control. It's just entertaining to watch. Like my favorite part is he's just always broke. Even when they try to get the kids out of the alley, they're like, "All right, $5." He's like, "All right, how about $1?"
Yeah, can't pay you
And
up
he's like,
front.
yeah,
He
he
Yeah.
always
like
said
bought
that.
cigarettes. He's like, all right, fine. They're like 6 years old.
And then they end up like helping in the band and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought his character, and then like he had a weird relationship with his daughter, but they looked like they generally had fun together. Like when they ran from the bar because he literally couldn't pay. He's like,
Yeah.
they're at a bar. He's like, you got money, right? He's like, what? She's like, what? I'm not even allowed to be in here.
Yeah.
He gets like absolutely hammered. Like
Yeah.
All the
that's the
time.
part where I like, yeah, I mean, obviously chance encounter in like New York. I mean, yeah, it's a little far-fetched, but I also think it's like you never know because like he was super down on his luck and was just getting absolutely trashed. So
I was
it's
gonna
like
say he's also an
Yeah.
alcoholic, so
right. And I mean he's in like the music business and like maybe he knew that there were open mic. It seemed like he knew that that was like an open mic spot for performers. So it's like, I mean, yeah, it's coincidence, but also like maybe it's kind of right time, right place where that's a place he frequents. And, I mean, obviously it takes a coincidence that the girl had to have gotten like broken up with that day, and like her friend had to be like, frequently go there. So, a little far-fetched, but I mean, the fact that he's like a raging alcoholic, like him,
Yeah,
him being at a bar, I guess isn't like too out of the question.
definitely not. And that's at that bar. So like two of my favorite things about this movie is just like super unique and just like cool ideas was one when he just like saw the instruments playing without anyone like playing them. I thought that was like so sweet. And then like you guys said, just the project overall, like the album in like different places of the city. I thought that was just like a super cool idea.
That was a sweet idea. I
yeah,
wish
love
I
those.
wish that was like real and I could see those on YouTube. And they might be. I didn't like try to look it up, but that's like a really cool project in general.
I know when he said that to her, I was like, that's gonna be like so viral. And then I realized I was just like 2013. Like, I mean, it still could have, but it was like, I don't know if that was their main objective, but it was no, it was super cool how it came together. I think this was a relatively, it was less than 2 hours, but I think they did a really good job in this movie of like the story was, like the story was the bulk of it. Like there was not, or like that, like this, there wasn't a whole lot of like fluff on it, a lot of like wasted time. I felt like the story of the project, I guess I mean, is like was the bulk of the actual movie, which I liked. While it kind of like interwove the problems with obviously like Adam Levine, the ex-boyfriend. So I think it did a good job of that. And I think it also did a good job for like a shorter movie, like providing backstory. Because like, obviously it shows Dan or whatever as like down on his luck, like alcoholic piece of shit or whatever. Is how they frame him at first, but then it like slowly like kind of peels back the layers a little bit and realizes like, he was actually the one that got cheated on. And then, he goes to like CeeLo Green's house and it turns out like you start to see that he's like this apparently like insane legend. I mean, he drives a Jaguar, so you're like, he
that car
at
is
one
sick.
point had to be well off. So I thought that was pretty cool. Actually, it reminded me a little bit at the beginning when he was like, his partner's like, dude, you brought in all these guys, like they haven't worked out. It actually reminded me of Air, like Sonny Vaccaro, where Phil Knight was like, dude, you said this guy was a can't miss, like the last 8 guys, and none of them panned out. And I was like, this kind of reminds me of a movie we watched recently.
Yeah, and had one last shot to like get it right, kind of. Even though he kind of quit, I guess, before, but yeah,
He took his painting with him.
yeah, he tried to. Yeah,
No,
that's great.
but kind of like going on your point, Tom. I think it was really done well with the story and like of like the backdrop, but it made me want more. Like obviously not in this movie. I kind of want like another movie of like his rise and fall.
That'd be
Like
cool.
for
Yeah,
Dan,
that'd be really cool.
because
Yeah.
it sounds like they kind of just started that business, found talent on their own, built
Right.
that place, and then he just did like absolutely nothing for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. No. So, dude, 'cause they acted like he just started from nothing. But like,
yeah.
I think probably the whole thing with his wife, it seemed like he kind of alluded to it, like that he like went to like a dark place. I'm assuming the thing with his wife is kind of how he got to the point where he was like a big time alcoholic and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
I'm guessing. Yeah, at least that fueled it a little bit.
Yeah,
definitely.
I can see that.
And not to switch gears too much, but I will say that apartment that Adam Levine and Keira Knightley moved in like right away. Well, I don't know if they were just renting that like while he was doing the movie or whatever, but while they were there, I mean, that was a sick apartment.
That was
I don't know
like
if I would say that's like my top 10 like places to live I've seen in a movie. If that makes sense. Like Big Daddy's apartment, like Adam Sandler's apartment, that's like top 3.
Yeah.
But I thought this apartment was sick too.
I mean, we're just talking
It doesn't have anything to do with the. Yeah, I just thought that was cool.
because like
No, it could be anything. It could be anything.
I mean,
really.
you watch there's some really nice houses in these like movies. Fast and
Oh
Furious.
yeah,
There's no shortage of nice houses in that.
I will never pick.
You got an apartment on Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, every planet. Yeah,
Dom's moving in. All right, I don't know. So this is one of the things I flip back and forth between because I loved the music in this, but sometimes I felt like there was almost too much of it. But I liked all the songs, so I was like really in between of it. Because like there'd be like a span of like 3 or 4 minutes where it's just like different scenes, but the music's just in the background. They're kind of showing a film, like, but it'd be like 4 or 5 minutes and like talking, and then like another 4 or 5 minutes, which like that, and that was one of like like that was my biggest thing. I couldn't decide if I loved it or hated it. Because like I really liked the music, so I'll say that. But there was like almost nothing happening like plot wise during that time.
Are you talking about like when they were making music, or like because now that you
Eh,
mentioned like they had the scene where they just listened to their iPod for like 10 minutes?
yeah, that's what I was like. There was just a
Oh.
few scenes, like not even when they were making music too, but like that was actually like, plot driven. Even but like even like at the beginning, we heard her sing that first song like 3 times, which is fine. Like I
Mhm.
like that song too, but it's just at some points I thought there was almost like too much of the music, and
See,
then
honestly,
and
like
then
I loved her music, so like I would have been fine hearing
yeah.
more of it, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it was hard for me to bury because I loved the songs, like each of them, and she's also I didn't like I knew she was a good singer. She's like phenomenal. Uh, but yeah, it's like I almost wanted more dialogue.
Yeah, I can see that. I see what you're saying. I liked it just because one, I like the music, like you said, and I just think the way they still were progressing the story in the background, like even if they weren't talking, I thought it was well done. And music is a big part of what the movie was about. So I could see it like going badly in a different movie, like if they had the same amount of music as this one did, and it just didn't work. But I thought it worked in this one. But I mean, there was a lot of music,
I
so I see what you're saying.
definitely I definitely agree with that. If the movie wasn't as good, it would have been horrible with how much music there is.
Right.
Like like if the plot was bad and the music wasn't particularly good, it would be like just a horrible movie. Like 2 out of 10.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think that's fair.
Yeah, I
But
think
this one I did like the plot and I like the music. It was just almost wanted a little more dialogue.
That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah, I think I agree with what you're saying, Ryan, about I feel like the music helped drive the plot, and I feel like the music was so good that they just let that carry it, where they're just like, we're just gonna have this as a big part. And I think too, like part of it drove like the scene where his daughter played the guitar. Like I feel like that was a
Yeah.
huge scene where even though there
Yeah.
wasn't much dialogue and they were just like jamming, and but it was like a big scene for like their relationship, and like
Hmm.
I was like her confidence as like a musician. And I thought that was probably top three like best scenes, like coolest scenes.
Yeah,
uh,
I did love that scene, and I'm glad you brought that up because I meant to say this too. Dude, how shitty of parents are they? Like, dude, she can't play guitar worth a
I
shit.
know,
And
right? They're just
then
like,
she
she
gets out there,
sucks.
she's like jamming, she's like coming up
She's
with her
like
own
Slash from
chords.
Guns N' Roses, like
Yeah,
ripping a
Yeah.
3 minute solo. It's like,
yeah.
hell.
He's like, keep that going. She's like, keep like crank it up, and she's
Yeah.
like going ham. I'm like, dude, this is good. Like her mom said she's horrible.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of most parents. Like, yeah, she's pretty good, and then she's like actually
Right.
terrible. Like, no,
Yeah.
it's the opposite. Dude, she sucks.
I think that's like Ryan mentioned, far fetched at the beginning. I actually thought that scene could be construed as far fetched because, like, the mom literally said like she sucks. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
again, like you said, JD, like the mom just being like an asshole, or like was she actually like? Because here's what I'm thinking: if she actually was like a beginner and like not very good, how does she just all of a sudden just like flip a switch and she's like incredible? Where like
So
professional musicians are like jaws on the floor, like holy
yeah.
shit. Like that is a scene where like yeah, it was great, but like that's one I could see maybe being a little far fetched of like she just learns in the moment like
Yeah.
how to play guitar well.
I could
Yeah.
see that too. I interpret well, I mean, I could see how that could look like that. I interpret it as like her mom probably just assumed she was bad because she just like doesn't really like the music or whatever. She hears it and she's like, oh, like here she goes again. But I interpret it as like it seemed like her and her dad were really close when she was like little, or until the divorce, or yeah, until the divorce happened when he found out his wife was cheating on him. So I was thinking like she all, and then he kind of like let or just was distant. So like my point of view was like music was so big to him, so she like attached onto that. So she's just like not necessarily secretly, but like has always been trying to keep that part still there while her dad's like gone. So like still kind of staying close to her dad, like indirectly through music. So I think that she actually has been good, like since she was little, but that's just how I interpreted it.
I interpret it similar. Like I interpret it like obviously her dad's like hotshot music producer, talent finder, whatever you want to call it. So like he hasn't been there a lot, but even whenever he is around or whatever, like that's something that would impress him.
Mhm.
And
Right.
if you
Yeah.
kind of, I don't want to call him absentee father because I really don't know how often he was around. But like you would still want to impress your parent, even if
Yeah.
you kind of resent him a little bit too.
Mhm. I think your
Definitely.
theory makes more sense.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
But
Yeah.
I love the daughter. I thought like
Yeah. Haley
her and
Samantha.
yeah, her and Keira Knightley's relationship was cool. Her and her dad's
Mhm.
relationship was cool, and that was a lot of like give and take because they had like their bad moments, but also like really fun moments.
Mhm.
I thought she was a good addition to this.
I agree. She's a really good actress. She's in this other movie, like stars in it. The main character. It's called Edge of 17. I don't know if you guys seen
Did not
that,
actually.
but I really like that movie, and she's awesome in that. Because
Mhm.
she sings too. She's like a really good singer too. And then
Yeah, well,
she's
isn't
like,
she known as a singer?
I think she started as a singer, and now
That's how
she's
I
like
knew, like, I think that's how I knew her.
pretty much all.
Well,
I
didn't
don't
she
know if
like
she
I
still
think she had
sings,
like
but
pop songs when we were
yeah, "Starving" is one of them. It still
right,
slaps.
right.
Um, but yeah, and I think I don't know if she's like just putting a pause on that, or she could still be making music. I don't know, but I think she's like more involved with just the acting side of things. Because she was also in Hawkeye as I don't
That's
know her
that's what I
name in that,
recognized
but
her. I forget her name too.
yeah. So I'm sure she's gonna be in like more movies. And I think she was also in Bumblebee.
Yeah, she was, which I haven't
Uh,
seen that.
I haven't either, but I just remember her in the trailer. So yeah,
That
I
might be
think
my
she's kind of
next
just in there.
Transformers
That's,
might be my next
that's
project. Just
oh, I thought you
go
were
through
like next story.
Dude,
these
that's
shitty
so
movie
funny.
franchises.
I literally was watching that a little bit yesterday on TV or TNT,
The
and
first one,
yeah, and when you were describing Fast and Furious, it's like this reminds me of fucking Transformers. I was
very
like,
comparable.
I could see it. Yeah.
yeah. Which is the first one I was
I
telling
like
my
the first
because I was watching with him. I was like, when this came out in theaters, this was
one.
actually
Sick.
like pretty
Oh
legit. It
yeah.
was actually all like I think it came out like when you're in like fifth or sixth grade, and it was actually like, incredible. Like, and
Yeah.
then they made like 18 more.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
Fast and
also
Furious comes in.
kind of similar but not the same. They like the Transformers, somehow Megatron is in like every single one and they kill him like every
Yeah.
single movie. And then they
Right.
like pull him out of an ocean and like revive him. And they like uses like mainframe or whatever to like create another one that's the exact same. And I'm just like,
That's why. Yeah, they
what are
shouldn't
we
have.
doing here?
Because Megatron, I don't know too much about Transformers, but I'm pretty sure Megatron's like the ultimate bad guy in it. So like they should have just like
Oh
saved
yeah.
him for like the third movie or second, at least the second movie. Because if you do him in the first and then he dies, like you said, Jay, and then you're kind of like
Yeah.
shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Build him
fuck.
up like Thanos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, should have.
Yeah, I was watching that yesterday, and like Megatron's beef was that he didn't think humans like deserve to live on Earth.
Yeah.
So I saw my brother, I was like, it's kind of boring if there are no humans. There's like 8 Transformers total. Like, like 4 of them hate the other 4. So like, are you gonna like just battle 24/7? Like,
Honestly, that's a good point. Like at that point, why don't they just take over like Antarctica? Like no one lives there.
right,
Like
Yeah.
no
right.
one's gonna mess with you.
Literally, there's like remote ass places you could just live, and
Or like they don't breathe air, just go to any other planet that doesn't continually kick your ass.
right,
Right.
Like, what are
right.
we talking about
Also,
here?
how do you lose a human? Like, no offense, but like
I
you're
completely
fucking
agree.
robots. Like,
Yeah,
Right. Like, why do you care about humans? Like,
yeah.
you're literally a car and then robot. Like, I was watching that and I was like, this was actually a pretty because I think Transformers might have started as like just toys, like way back
yeah.
when, like maybe like the
I think it
70s.
was like toys and cartoons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought it
toys and
started as
like
like
a
a
cartoon,
comic or a
TV show.
cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's actually was like a really good idea, like a really pretty unique idea, but obviously it ran out of gas real quick.
Oh,
No pun
yeah.
intended.
Yeah.
My new prediction for the new Fast and Furious movie is Dom evolves into a transformer, like
Crossover.
that can then transform into a car.
like Planet of the Apes, he takes some like
Yeah.
he drinks a little like coolant or
Nas,
something on
yeah.
accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns into a transformer like Spider-Man.
Goes home after a long day, puts a little NOS, a little coolant, just
Yeah.
little diesel fuel, just throws that thing
Little
back.
rum to top it off.
Whoa, he's a Corona guy.
It's true.
Also,
Strictly.
not to get back on the Fast
Product
9 saga, but
placement.
one big point that's in every movie is the product placement for the cars they
Oh.
use. I forget which
Oh,
one,
yeah.
but there's one time they're in a McLaren and you can't really tell, and all of a sudden they're driving, it's just a close up of the logo. Like literally, all it says is McLaren on the car for like 3 seconds, and I was just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
First time I ever really noticed that in a movie was when I saw Avengers, like the first one. Every single car, I'm pretty sure it's Acura, where like every car is
Oh,
Acura. And I'm like, you like literally like if you're with Shield, if you're the bad guys, if you're like out of all the cars in the world, everybody drives an Acura. Apparently. That was the first time I noticed, like, all right, this is very obvious.
yeah.
And
Uh,
but yeah, they
I
definitely
just
do a big time with cars.
I just don't understand, like, all these bad movie franchises. Somehow the bad guys always have like the coolest shit. Like Transformers, especially, they have I forget his name, Shockwave, who can control like the worm things. I don't know if you know
I
what I'm
think
talking
that's it.
about.
I think
Yeah,
it is
the
Shockwave,
Shockwave.
name
maybe.
sounds familiar.
I don't know how he doesn't just wipe out everybody.
That's what I'm saying. They should just
Right.
wipe out. Like, yeah.
It's like my similar
That's
beef
another
with
one I have with like. It's not even close to my beef with Fast and Furious, but it's up there. Like,
dude, like in
it's
no, in the Fast and Furious, Idris Elba's in Hobbs and Shaw. Dude's like mechanical, like his spine is like mechanical. He got shot in the head, but somehow he still dies. Like he got shot in the head, they brought him back to life, and then he still dies. Like what? I don't, I just don't get it. Like he has like his eyes like tell him when someone's about to fight. It says like target's gonna attack, and he's like, oh, dodge. I don't get it.
I don't get like I sent you guys that video of like Vince Gilligan talking about Breaking Bad, where you have some writers like Vince Gilligan, where it's like they've thought of every single possible scenario angle a million times over, and it's like the best writing you'll ever see. And then you get guys like fucking Hobbs and Shaw, where it's like they like didn't think it, like didn't edit it, didn't think it through. There's just like I guess it's just a different style where like this looks sick
Yeah.
screen, and then
that's
like
all they care about. Yeah.
we'll fill in the rest later. Like
I have so many gripes with those movies because I just watched them. I like for instance, one of them, like The Rock, like punches like a cement block and like a huge chunk comes out of it. Then he like punches the bad guy like as hard as he can. He just like gets back up, no blood, no scars, nothing. And I'm just like, dude, he just took out concrete. Like that's gotta hurt a little bit.
I'd say so.
They actually like make a reference to it in one of the movies. Roman says something like, "You ever notice how we always come out of this with no scars, no blood, nothing? I don't have a single scar. We've done the most impossible stuff." He's like, "We're invincible." I'm just like, I'm like, I
I
never.
guess they're self-aware. I
Yeah,
guess
they're definitely self-aware, but like, Jesus.
at what cost? Oh
Yeah,
boy. Well, I mean, we could do fucking 5 straight episodes on just that, and I still
no,
wouldn't get out all my frustrations. But
no.
yeah, honestly, I mean, we kind of went off the rails there, but that's
Yeah.
kind of all I wanted to
Took a
speaking
talk
of
side
about.
off the
street.
rails, Fast and Furious has done nothing with trains, to my knowledge, either.
Oh, there
Nope,
you go.
that's not true.
Ah, good,
They,
good.
I
What a
think they
missed
hijack
opportunity.
one. They hijack one at one
They
point.
should.
They
No, they
have
like
to.
they started small. They started with like a plane, then there was like a submarine, and now there was a
So they
train.
have touched water then.
Well, kind of. It was in Russia, so it was frozen. Didn't actually. It
Oh,
might have got in the water for like half a
of
second.
course they're fucking crossing continent.
Well, also it doesn't make
I
any
hate
sense.
this fucking movie so
No,
much.
they blew up this submarine, and the big point about the submarine was there's a huge nuke on it, right? And they blow the submarine up, but the nuke doesn't explode. I'm like, first off, why would you blow up a submarine that has a nuke on it? Second off, how? Like, I don't know.
Makes
Those
zero
movies.
sense.
Also, every single movie they jump out of cars going like 80 miles an hour on a street, and they just
Barrel
get up
roll.
like it's nothing, like they're Spider-Man with like their fist on the ground, like not a single scratch. I'm just like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
They'll never die.
The Lord's work, JD.
I
Yeah.
also like half the movies at the end will say these stunts were done in a controlled environment. I'm like, oh, you went to space in a controlled environment? Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Barrel roll out of a moving car into traffic.
I
In
don't
real
understand.
life. Tom Cruise would have done it,
Oh yeah, you would
Yeah.
have.
but he
I
should
think
be.
They need to get him in it, but
I would
he's too
respect it
good for
more.
them.
Yeah, I would respect it more if Tom Cruise in it because I know he'd actually be taking like if they're like, yeah, you got to jump out of that car. He's like, don't worry, I'll do it. They're like, no, like it's not real. He's like, no, I want to jump out of a car.
Yeah, let me.
Yeah,
I know we've talked about Tom Cruise, but the other weird thing is he's like 50 or
yeah.
probably closer to 60 at this
And
point.
he's still down to do that.
Oh, that's
Oh
like
yeah.
life's work.
Yeah,
How old's
Love
Vin
that.
Diesel?
he's getting up there too. He's got to be at least
Probably
50.
50s.
He has to be.
Let's see.
But yeah, he's 55. Still, still living life 1/4 mile at a time.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is 60.
Jeez. Yeah, not to hijack that. We already had our little Fast and Furious segment. We can get back into it next week
Yeah.
when I see the new one.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
might
we'll
be
back on
drunk
that
or
one.
something when I see that. I don't know how I watch them.
Yeah, me either. But yeah, that's actually really beginning it. I mean, we kind of talked about it. There's not a whole lot there, but it is. I
Right.
still enjoy it. So
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about, but it doesn't mean it's bad. Because I mean, obviously by our scores, I feel like we all liked it.
yeah, it clocks in again. So actually, I think I put 7.6 on thing. It's 7.7. And that clocks in 271 on our list here, right in between the Born Identity, which also has a ton of car product placement, I feel like, and
Yeah.
then Dope as well, which is another underrated movie that I don't think a lot of people have seen. So
We
I
talked
like
about
them.
it last week briefly too,
yeah,
because the Zero from Grand Budapest Hotel was
Yeah.
Dope.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so
It's
yeah,
also
no,
kind of a longer movie. Wait,
yeah, that was a
no,
great movie though. I like
I
Dope a
can't
lot.
remember. I like Dope.
Yes.
I'm looking at some of these movies. I haven't rated any of the Bournes or John Wicks, and I watched both of those like last month, like the whole
Well,
series.
there you go. Gotta get on
I know. I gotta get better at my updating.
it.
I didn't know
um,
Dope, and I've seen that.
Can I just put like Fast Saga like 20?
yeah.
Just all of them.
So yeah, that's Begin Again. Give it a watch if you haven't. Yeah, like Tom said, it's a very easy watch, I'd say.
hmm
Oh yeah, very
Uh,
enjoyable.
So yeah, give it a watch. Still on Netflix, I think. So go for it. But yeah, Tom, I think you're next for next week's selection.
Yeah, I believe so. I've got my choice. It's actually a movie I don't think I've ever seen all the way through. But it was like really big when it came out. Assuming you guys have both seen it. It's one of those where like I just didn't see it when it was big in theaters and I just missed it. But it is Kingsman.
Oh fuck.
Oh yeah,
And
I'm in.
it is on HBO. And yeah, it's one of those like
Dude, I'm so glad you picked this
I've
one. I was
seen
just thinking about
parts
this
of
movie.
it, and I just feel like it's fucking awesome, but I've never seen it all the way through, so I'm pretty pumped.
This is I think that's a really good pick.
Yeah, I like
I'm
it.
excited for it.
We're talking about like the Taron Egerton Kingsman, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
The
let's
sequel
go fast cars. Let's go. I'm in.
Are there fast cars in it?
I think there is like 2 scenes. One of the movies at least has 2 scenes. I know the
watching
second
the
one
trailers, the
does.
planes, you'll like it.
Yeah, I know the second one it opens kind of with the car chase scene.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Look,
Yeah.
so,
But no, I love these movies. I'm glad you chose it.
Yeah,
mhm,
me
yeah.
too.
I'm very excited for it. On HBO Max. So if you're following along at home,
It's about to just be Max.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
So just not to confuse the people out there, even though they confused everyone
Yeah.
by changing their name.
It's like
Did
the
you
third
guys
name
know?
they've had, and
Yeah,
It's
did
so
you know
stupid.
it was also like Warner Bros. Like owned? I didn't even know that. I thought it was
Yeah.
all HBO,
Hmm.
which might
Yeah.
own HBO. I don't
Once
know.
once they changed it to HBO Max is when I think that all went final or whatever.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
It was
But
HBO
yeah.
before that.
Yeah, it was HBO Go.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh
well,
yeah. Well, make
should
sure
we
to
do
watch
on-
Kingsman.
Yep. Got Kingsman, and then we've got 1990 finally for the movies or for the music.
Yeah. Besides that, are you guys watching anything new? I'm still just watching Succession, which only has 2 episodes left, and then Dave as well. But
Mhm.
that's about it. How about you guys?
Same old, same old. Watching the league on season 2 of that. And no, I think that's about it. I gotta start my book club book I'm in with JD, so I gotta get cracking on that.
And what's the book?
It is No Country for Old Men.
Which is also a movie, and it's
A good movie.
really good movie.
From what I've heard, I haven't seen
Oh, that would be a good one to
it.
review as well.
What about you, JD? You watching anything?
Watching the worst franchise since the Lions, pretty much. But yeah, caught up on that. I've also been watching, I think I brought this up last week, which is White House Plumbers, which is on HBO. Woody Harrelson, Justin Theroux. That show kind of goes off the rails a little bit too, but apparently it's all a true story. So this is kind of a wild story, but it's not that great of a show so far, in my opinion.
Okay.
But I'm
So
still
not a must watch.
Nah, but I'm still riding it out. I'll see how it ends. I mean, we're only like 3 episodes in, but
Mm.
yeah, I mean, last 4 days, I think I watched 5 Fast and Furious movies. So that's been taking a good chunk of my time.
Yeah, that's impressive. I could not do that.
It's not a,
So props to you.
it wasn't a good 4 days spent.
Yeah.
Could have been doing so many things.
You almost made it.
Yeah.
You caught up till the new come out.
I will say the only thing that it makes, I wish I had a stick shift again, which I don't know how they keep finding all these cars that are stick shift because I haven't seen one in forever. But when I did drive stick, I used to love driving stick.
Does seem fun.
Yeah.
Can't say no how, but
Yeah, I wish I did know how, but I hope I learn at some point. But yeah,
I'd like to learn.
Honestly, it takes like 30 minutes to learn. Probably not. Like once you know how to clutch, that's it. You're done.
Not bad.
Yeah, driving stick looks sweet.
Oh yeah. You guys remember my little 2-door Ranger?
I do. Yeah.
Wasn't exactly the same as these cars they're driving, but I feel like I could
whip it around.
I feel like I could whip that thing.
They don't make Rangers anymore, do they?
I don't think so. I think they stopped a few years ago.
Yeah, I thought so too. Those were like the nicest, like little trucks.
Yeah, I like the Toyota Tacomas too.
Oh yeah, those are nice.
Should we just become a truck podcast?
Halfway there.
Yeah. We'll probably be sponsored by The Rock. Pretty sure he loves big trucks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you guys will love this. I mean, not to spoil it. I don't know if you guys ever watched Shaw and Hobbs, but obviously The Rock's in it, or
Never.
Hobbs and Shaw. Kevin Hart in it.
You're shitting me.
The very small role doesn't really do anything, but he's in it, and it's exactly what you would expect.
Oh my gosh. Now I'm really never gonna watch that.
No, I think I'm gonna make you.
Somehow he weasel his way in there too.
I think he has something in his contract. Like every 3 movies The Rock does,
Gotta be,
he's got to be in one of the 3.
Yeah,
so true.
that makes sense. Yeah,
they share an agent or something.
Buddy contract.
I think they have that with like 4 of them. Like Mark Wahlberg's in that mix with Kevin Hart. Like,
oh yeah,
Will Ferrell's like in every 10.
Yeah.
Man, that's terrible.
It is. I don't know why he was added.
Oh, that's tough.
He also calls himself an alpha in it. It's just wow.
God, you gotta be kidding. Oh, you're not doing great PR there, JD, for people to watch these movies, but I'm glad you're still doing it so we can get updates.
Oh yeah, I'll continue to do the dirty work. I'm like an investigative reporter.
How bad can these movies get? We'll find out.
But yeah, I'm gonna watch the first 3, which I actually really enjoy, and I think it'll be weird to watch them in reverse order when they just like stealing DVDs out of a trunk.
Yes.
But dude, I just saw that guy like rob 5 banks or something. In like an hour.
Well, yeah, keep us updated, JD. We're gonna be waiting for that next week when we hear that. But to everyone else, yeah, like we said, it's gonna be Kingsman, the Secret Service, I think is what it's called, next week.
Secret Service.
Yeah, as well as 1990 for Billboard hits. So listen along there. But yeah, I think that does it today. So
play some crossword with us.
Yeah, play some crossword.
Yeah, please do. It's super fun, and it's more fun with friends. I will say, sharing our scores is the most fun part. So
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Oh, I
the-
forgot to also mention I'm also watching the Mario Brothers movie
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
in theaters. So
get an
we'll
update there
report
too.
back too.
Also, Air's on Prime, which I know we
Yep.
did a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So if you haven't
Mhm.
seen that, it's now readily available if you have
If you're
Amazon
new,
Prime.
if you're a new subscriber, which I know there's a few of you out there, I'm talking to you directly. Check out.
You know who you are.
Yeah,
Feel free to add comments too if you think our takes are trash or
yeah.
amazing, you know, which I know most of them are. So feel free to just reiterate that, you know, never hurts.
Yeah,
I want to be told my takes are trash. I'll
same.
reevaluate everything I've done,
Yeah.
which I've already been doing, but
Just daily.
yeah.
That's
Cool. Well, yeah. I think
our
that
homework.
does it.
Mhm.
So this week Kingsman 1990 for next week, but yeah, we'll see you guys then.
See you guys then.
Absolutely. See you guys.